Picture this. Rasheeda's flawless face cracks in front of the camera, her hands trembling, voice breaking, and the entire Love and Hip Hop set frozen in silence. Why? Because Karlie Redd just dropped a bombshell, a folder full of text messages, hotel receipts, and even videos that link Kirk to a full-blown secret affair. And not just any affair. One that's been going on for months behind Rasheeda's back. The betrayal, blistering. The timing, it's unforgivable. The drama, next level. Just when fans thought season 13 couldn't get any messier, this twisted triangle turns explosive, live, raw, and unedited. Karlie wants revenge. Rasheeda wants answers. And Kirk, he's cornered. This isn't just reality TV. This is the meltdown of a marriage built on broken promises. Buckle up, because what you're about to hear will make you question everything. At first glance, everything looked picture perfect. Kirk and Rasheeda had just wrapped their last on-camera appearance, smiling, faking normal, as they often did. Fans were relieved, thinking maybe this season would be drama-light for once. But behind the scenes, something sinister was already unraveling, and trust. The moment Karlie Redd entered the frame, the clock started ticking. It started with whispers, people. Around set noticed Karlie showing up late night to scenes she wasn't even scheduled for. She was lurking, eavesdropping, taking calls with her back to the wall. Production assistants began side-eyeing her, and the buzz started spreading like wildfire. Why is Karlie acting like she got something to drop? Meanwhile, Kirk was acting. Off, real twitchy, always looking over his shoulder. Anytime his phone buzzed, he'd flinch. Rasheeda clocked it too. But as a seasoned pro, she didn't react, at least not yet. Not until she had facts. And baby, those facts were coming. The tension was thick. During a casual dinner scene filmed for the show, Karlie Redd sat directly across from Rasheeda and Kirk. Her body language screamed, "I got something you don't." No. She sipped her drink slowly, peering over the rim of her glass with a smirk so venomous it had Rasheeda's sixth sense going haywire. Suddenly, Karlie leaned forward and said, "Ain't it funny how some men act brand new when they think? The truth won't come out." Dead silence. Kirk froze. Rasheeda tilted her head. "You want to say something, Karlie?" Karlie's smirk widened. "Oh, I will. Just not tonight." And just like that, she stood up and walked out, leaving Kirk's whole vibe crumbling like a house of cards. Rasheeda stared at him, eyebrows raised, waiting for a denial, an explanation, anything. But Kirk, he just sat there, silently chewing his lip, refusing to meet her eyes. That was the moment Rasheeda knew. The blogs went wild that night. Room lit up with, "Did Karlie Redd just threaten to expose Kirk live on set?" Comment sections exploded. "Karlie been messy, but this tea feels different." Kirk shaking like a leaf. "Rasheeda better not stay silent." "I need Karlie to drop the full receipts now." And guess what? She was about to. Karlie Redd pulled up with her hair laid in confidence sky high. She had a manila envelope in one hand and her phone screen recording in the other. The cast and crew were shook. Security was already on edge because producers knew what was coming wasn't just reality TV. It was war. Producers tried to step in. "Karlie, let's keep this scene clean. If you have concerns, we can address it in confessionals." Karlie cut them off. "Nah, we're doing this now. I kept this secret long enough. Kirk, want to play games? Let's play live." Cut to Rasheeda walking in, her glam flawless, but her energy guarded. She could feel it in her bones. Something big was coming. Karlie stood up, camera locked in. "You want to know where your husband was 2 weeks ago, Rasheeda? While you was home filming your skincare line?" Rasheeda didn't blink. "Go ahead, show me." Karlie opened the envelope. Hotel receipts, room 647. Kirk's name, late night room service, even a pic of his car and valet. Followed by screenshots of texts. "I miss last night. Next time, let's do the champagne suite. You drive me crazy." Rasheeda's face dropped. Kirk lunged for the envelope, shouting, This ain't what it looks like. But it was too late. Karlie had already airdropped everything to the producers, the crew, and Rasheeda herself. The camera zoomed in on Rasheeda's shaking hands holding her phone, her eyes glued to the screenshots, then slowly rising to lock on Kirk. Ice cold. Fire rising. You really had me looking stupid, again. Kirk tried to speak, but Rasheeda raised her hand to silence him. Karlie, you got more? Karlie smirked. Oh, honey, we just getting started. It's cut to black. Karlie didn't come to play. As soon as Rasheeda asked if she had more, Karlie pulled out her phone again, this time swiping through a gallery of voice notes. Everyone on set froze. Kirk's face drained of all color. He knew what was coming. This right here, Karlie began, was recorded the night after the showcase. You remember that, Kirk? When you told Rasheeda you were staying late to handle soundcheck issues, Rasheeda's head slowly turned toward Kirk. Karlie hit play. Kirk's voice echoed out loud and clear. You know, I can't keep doing this with you, Karlie. If she finds out, it's over. Karlie turned the volume up and pressed the phone closer to the mic. She ain't gonna find out unless you tell her. Her voice fired back in the clip. And since you're too scared, I might just do it, my damn self gasps. The entire crew stopped breathing. Kirk snatched the phone out of Karlie's hand and yelled, Y'all seriously letting her record me? Rasheeda stood up slowly, her hands clenched into fists by her side. So it's true, she whispered. You've been cheating on me? With her? With Karlie Red? Kirk tried to argue. It's not like that, Rasheeda snapped. Don't you dare lie to my face again. You had me defending you. You had me believing in this marriage when the world was clowning me. Tears welled in her eyes, but she didn't let them fall. Instead, her voice grew louder. And you doing all this mess behind my back with someone you know I don't? With. Karlie interrupted. You want to know the worst part? Rasheeda turned. What, Karlie? What could possibly top this circus? Karlie's lips curled into a twisted smirk. He told me. He loved me. While y'all were filming your anniversary episode. Boom! Rasheeda's knees buckled for a second. But she caught herself. The crew rushed forward, unsure if they were filming a breakdown or a breakthrough. Kirk shouted, That's a lie! Never said that. But Karlie had one final bomb. She pulled out a diamond bracelet, the same one Kirk had gifted Rasheeda for her birthday on the show, and held it up. He gave me this exact one. Same engraving, same packaging. Said it was a one-of-a-kind gift. Rasheeda rushed to her purse, yanked out her bracelet, and held it up. Identical. Kirk buried his face in his hands. The set fell into stunned silence. A producer whispered, This is too real. We need to cut. But the cameras kept rolling. This wasn't reality TV anymore. This was real heartbreak, betrayal, and humiliation unraveling before millions. Backstage, cast members like Spice and Erica Mena were already on live IG, reacting in real time. Y'all, Karlie just exposed Kirk with voice notes. Erica yelled, This ain't even scripted no more. Meanwhile, Twitter exploded. Kirk is the most trifling man on TV. Rasheeda deserves better FR. Karlie Red came with receipts, voice notes, and matching jewelry. Oh, it's over. Is this why I don't trust no man who say he changed? They always go back. Back on set, Rasheeda finally spoke again, her voice low, trembling with fury. You embarrassed me, not just as a wife, but as a woman, as a mother. You made me look weak. Kirk pleaded. I didn't mean to save it, she barked. You had options. You chose betrayal. She turned to Karlie. And you? You really think you won by doing this on camera? You think exposing him gives you power? Karlie didn't flinch. Nah, I just think the truth matters. And I was. Tired of hiding it to protect you, Rasheeda stepped closer. Her eyes locked on Karlie's. The air turned electric. I don't need your protection. I needed honesty. With that, Rasheeda ripped off her mic pack, shoved it into a producer's hand, and stormed off set. Kirk followed, shouting her name, but she didn't look back. Cameras caught every second. Karlie stood in the middle of the set, victorious, bitter, but undeniably shaken. The producers turned off the feed, and just like that, all hell broke loose behind the scenes by the time Rasheeda reached the parking lot. Dozens of fans were already outside the lot gate, screaming her name, holding signs that said #team RASHEEDA and dump him. Rasheeda climbed into her car, slammed the door, and sat in silence for the first time in a long time. She didn't know what came next. She'd forgiven Kirk before countless times for cheating, for lying, for humiliating her on national television. But this time felt different, because this time, he didn't just cheat. He gifted another woman with the same exact words, gestures, and lies he used to build back their broken home. This wasn't just disrespect, it was intentional, and Rasheeda, she wasn't sure she could survive it again. Meanwhile, Karlie sat alone in her trailer, scrolling through her phone, watching the chaos she caused unfold online. She wasn't smiling, she wasn't celebrating. She looked hollow, because even though she got her revenge, it didn't feel like a win. Because in the end, nobody really won. They all just lost different things. Hours later, back inside the studio, Kirk sat slumped on a black leather couch, wiping sweat off his forehead. His cameras had gone off, but now he wanted them back on. Damage control mode was fully activated. "I need to talk," he told producers. "Let me talk. I messed up, but I gotta fix this. Producers hesitated. Kirk, pleading to speak on camera, was rare. Usually, he dodged every bit of heat. But tonight, he was desperate. They rolled the cameras. "I ain't gonna lie," he began, staring into the lens. "I made a mistake. Huge. One. But that bracelet, that wasn't supposed to go to Karlie. I got confused with the deliveries. That's all." The crew looked at each other. "That's all." Kirk continued. "I love Rasheeda. She's my wife. She's been my rock. I don't know why I do the things I do. Sometimes I just sabotage my own blessings." He paused, holding back tears. "I never meant to hurt her, I swear." But before anyone could even react to his emotional monologue, the door burst open, and in walked Jasmine Washington. Yes, Jasmine. The same woman who had Kirk's baby behind Rasheeda's back years ago. The same woman who nearly destroyed their entire marriage in season 6. The room went cold. "Yo," Jasmine said, hands on hips. "Y'all really trying to pin this whole mess on Karlie, like Kirk wasn't still texting me 2 months ago?" Kirk nearly choked. "Girl, what? You crazy?" Jasmine pulled up her phone. "Don't play dumb. I got messages." "Nope. Me go live." Producers jumped up. This wasn't on the call sheet. Jasmine wasn't supposed to be anywhere near set. She scrolled to a message and read out loud. "If things don't work with Rasheeda, we always got history. Just saying." Kirk lunged forward. "I didn't say that. You faking messages again like last time?" Jasmine smirked. "That ain't even the worst one. Want me to read the part where you said Karlie ain't got nothing on me? Or when you told me you were done pretending with Rasheeda?" Kirk was fuming. "That's not true. I've changed, man." Producers were scrambling. This wasn't just drama. This was the implosion of Kirk's already fragile redemption arc. Suddenly, Urka Dixon walked in. "Yo, I ain't trying to get in y'all mess, but the street's talking, and you, Kirk, looking real foul out here. If I were Rasheeda, I'd be gone yesterday." Everyone was shouting, Jasmine throwing receipts, Kirk denying everything, Erica egging it on. But then Rasheeda walked back in. Silence. All heads turned. She didn't say a word. She just looked at Kirk, her eyes bloodshot, cheeks slightly streaked from crying, but her posture straight, strong, unbothered. "I saw everything," she said calmly. "And I mean everything." Kirk opened his mouth, but Rasheeda raised a hand. "No, don't say a word." She turned to Jasmine. You're still obsessed with being relevant off my name?" and it's pathetic. Jasmine blinked. And Karlie. Rasheeda looked around but didn't see her. Tell her I said, thanks. She saved me years of wasted loyalty. Then Rasheeda did something no one expected. She turned back to Kirk, took off her wedding ring and placed it on the coffee table. I'm done. For real this time. Kirk gasped. Wait, what? You can't just... I can. She cut him off. And I am. I forgave you when I shouldn't have. I stayed when every sign told me to leave. But now, I'm choosing me. The room was still frozen in place when Rasheeda grabbed her bag and walked out. Again, but this time, she didn't cry. This time, she didn't run. She strutted. Jasmine looked stunned. Even she didn't expect that. Backstage, Karlie was watching the live feed. She set her phone down slowly and whispered, damn, I didn't think she'd really do it. Rasheeda got in her car, slammed the door, and looked straight into the camera phone now filming her confessionals. This ain't just about Kirk. This is about every woman who stays, hoping a man will change. This is about knowing your worth and finally acting on it. She sniffed, but she didn't cry. This time, I'm walking away for good. Then she hit end on the camera. No edits. No makeup. No background music, just raw truth. And in that moment, Rasheeda wasn't just trending, she was free. The fallout from Rasheeda's dramatic exit sent shockwaves through the entire production. Twitter was still melting down. Instagram lives were filled with cast members reacting in real time. Kirk tried to vanish, ghosting producers, shutting off his phone, and ducking interviews. But the story had already taken on a life of its own. What no one expected was that Rasheeda's mother, Miss Charlene, was already en route to the studio, and she was on a mission. She didn't call, didn't text, didn't ask for permission. She just pulled up in a red leather trench coat like the final boss in a hip-hop soap opera. Producers scrambled when she showed up. Ms. Charlene, do you want to be mixed up? She shot them a glare. I ain't come here to play with microphones. I came here to collect my daughter and confront this grown man acting like a damn child. They micked her anyway. As she stormed onto the set, the room got tense. Jasmine had already left. Karlie was nowhere in sight. Kirk, he was there, sitting in a corner, sipping on water like it was going to wash away everything Ms. Charlene walked right up to him and said, So, you cheating again, huh? Kirk looked up, startled. She didn't give him a chance to answer. I told Rasheeda not to marry you. I warned her every step of the way. And every time you messed up, she still chose you. You know what that makes you? Kirk stayed silent. A mistake she kept making. The crew was silent. This wasn't TV. This was generational rage, a mother watching her daughter get disrespected over and over again. Miss Charlene pulled a stack of printed screenshots from her purse. Since y'all like receipts so much, I brought my own. The producer leaned in, whispering, Wait, what is that? Miss Charlene flipped the stack. Multiple DMs from Kirk to a woman named Tasha. Texts from late 2024. Cash App transfers. Screenshots of flirty messages that said things like, You. No, I'm only with her for the brand. Don't worry, I got you on that rent. You've always been the one I really vibe with. The woman, the 24-year-old model Kirk, had been following on Instagram. Not a celeb, just a pretty face in Atlanta with a few thousand followers. Ms. Charlene dropped the papers in Kirk's lap. So this wasn't just Karlie, wasn't just Jasmine. You really out here collecting side chicks like Peckerman? Kirk stood up, voice rising. You don't know the full story, Ms. Charlene got louder. Oh, I know enough. I know you've been disrespecting my child since the day you slipped that ring on her finger. He shouted, It's not just on me. She stayed. She forgave me. Ms. Charlene didn't flinch, and that's exactly why I'm here. 'Cause next time, she won't. You don't get to use her love against her. You don't get to weaponize her loyalty. Everyone was silent. Ms. Charlene's voice dropped. You lost a good woman, and now you gone, lose everything that came with her. That's when security had to step in, not because things were getting violent, but because Ms. Shirlene was seconds away from flipping furniture. Producers pulled her aside and tried to calm her down. She looked straight into the camera and said, "Let this be a lesson to every mother watching. If you see your daughter being dragged by a man who ain't worthy, speak up. 'Cause silence is betrayal too." The clip of that moment would go viral within the hour. Meanwhile, Rasheeda was laying low in a hotel suite downtown, refusing all interview requests. Her team issued a single statement: Rasheeda is taking time to process recent events and focus on her healing. She appreciates the outpouring of support and will speak when she's ready. But behind the scenes, she was plotting. Rasheeda was already on Zoom with divorce lawyers, brand managers, and producers about her own spin-off series, a solo series. No Kirk, no Karlie, no drama, just Rasheeda reclaiming her narrative. One producer was overheard saying, "This might be the most powerful pivot in love and hip-hop history," because Rasheeda wasn't just trying to move on. She was planning to build an empire without Kirk's name attached. But back at the main set, Karlie Redd had something else up her sleeve. She hadn't left because she was done. She left too. Dig deeper. In her phone were videos, old clips, hotel elevator footage, DMIs, even audio of Kirk saying, "Sometimes I wish I had just married Karlie instead." And she was debating dropping it all. Producers met with her privately and begged, "Can we space it out? This show can't survive if we drop everything at once." Karlie tilted her head. "So y'all want me to sit on this bomb? For ratings?" They nodded. She smirked. Bet. But what she didn't tell them, she had already sent everything to Tasha KYUP. That Tasha K. The next morning. Tasha K. posted on Instagram, "Exclusive: Karlie Redd just handed me a whole wig-snatching folder on Kirk Frost. It's worse than y'all think." Interview drops Friday. #unwind with Tasha K. The internet lost its mind. Even Wendy Williams, still throwing shade from her podcast, chimed in. So Kirk Frost couldn't stay faithful to save his life. And now Rasheeda's mama had to clean up the mess. Pitiful. All this while Kirk was still MIA. He hadn't posted, hadn't filmed, hadn't even responded to calls. Sources close to production said he was devastated. But the fans didn't care anymore. The tide had turned. No more sympathy. No more excuses. Rasheeda was trending. Karlie was vindicated. And Ms. Shirlene, she was crowned the MVP of the entire season 3 days after the chaos. The silence around Rasheeda finally broke. And when it did, it broke loud. Rasheeda sat down with Bet Digital for an exclusive tell-all interview titled, "The Last Time I'll Ever Speak on Kirk Frost." No glam team, no jewelry. Just Rasheeda in a black hoodie and sweatpants, looking straight into the camera like a woman who had nothing left to lose and everything to finally say, "I stayed too long." She began, her voice calm but layered. With pain, "I stayed for the kids, for the image, for the illusion of a man I kept hoping would change." She paused, letting her words sink in. "But now I see. I was in love with the potential of Kirk, not T. Not T. The reality of who he kept showing me he was." Fans were floored. The comment section instantly lit up. She talking like a woman who's done. This might be Rasheeda's redemption era FR. Kirk fumbled a diamond. And now she's reminding everyone WHY she was the prize. Then came the question that had everyone on edge. Do you believe Kirk ever loved you? Rasheeda didn't blink. "I think Kirk loved the comfort of me. He loved the idea of me never leaving, of always forgiving. But love, real love, it don't lie, cheat, or humiliate." That soundbite would become the #1 TikTok audio of the week. Millions of women stitched it, sharing their own stories of leaving toxic relationships. Rasheeda wasn't just being heard. She was starting a movement. Then she dropped a bomb of her own. "I've filed for divorce." The interviewer gasped. "Wait, it's official. Rasheeda nodded. I told my lawyer the moment I walked off that set, we're done. And I'm keeping everything I built. The internet broke. Shade Room posted, IT's over. Rasheeda confirms she's divorcing Kirk Frost for good, and she's taking her empire with her. Twitter went insane. This is the energy I needed. Hashtag free Rasheeda. She about to be richer, finer, and unbothered. Watch Kirk somewhere punching the air. Meanwhile, Karlie Red, fresh off her own mini media tour, was feeling the heat. Her receipts were everywhere. Name was trending. And yet, something didn't sit right. Behind the scenes, producers noticed Karlie getting more erratic, demanding more screen time, pushing for more scenes centered around her. She wanted to capitalize, but it was starting to look desperate. And then she crossed the line at a local Atlanta club appearance where Rasheeda was hosting a pop-up for her. Pressed boutique, Karlie showed up uninvited, drunk, dressed to cause chaos. I'm armed with one last surprise. She stormed the stage, mic in hand, and shouted into the crowd, "Y'all cheering for Rasheeda. But guess what? Kirk ain't the only one who cheated." The crowd gasped, security rushed her. The DJ cut the music, but Karlie kept yelling, "Ask her about that Miami trip with a personal trainer. Ask her about her receipts." Rasheeda, on the side of the stage, stood frozen. Her team quickly blocked Karlie from reaching her. But the damage, already done. Within hours, blogs posted the clip. Karlie Red crashes Rasheeda's event, accuses HER of cheating too. #LHHATL. The drama flipped hard. Fans were divided. Now, Karlie doing too much. This ain't about the truth anymore, it's about clout. Why crash her event when she finally got peace? Even if it's true, this ain't the way. But Rasheeda's response, pure class. She went live the next morning, still in her event. Clothes, makeup, smudged, hair in a bun. "You don't heal by hurting others," she said. "I don't care what Karlie got, my conscience is clean. I left a broken marriage, not because I was perfect, but because I was done pretending." And then she hit the final nail. "Whatever happened in Miami happened while I was single. In my spirit. So if that makes me a cheater, call me one. But I was done with Kirk long before I filed those papers." Boom. Another viral quote. Another round of praise. And Karlie. She had no comeback. Her clout chasing backfired fast. Sponsorships started pulling back. Fan pages unfollowed. Even her own management team told her to fall back for a few weeks. "Karlie Red just turned a win into a loss," tweeted one fan. She couldn't handle Rasheeda finally shining without drama. Behind the scenes, Kirk tried reaching out to Rasheeda, privately texting her, calling her, even sending flowers to her boutique. But she blocked every number. She wasn't interested in closure. She was interested in freedom, and for the first time in a long time, she had it. It was the most anticipated reunion episode in Love and Hip Hop Atlanta history. Producers didn't even bother teasing it with dramatic trailers. They just dropped one single tagline across the screen: Rasheeda and Kirk, face to face, for the last time. The studio was packed, security doubled, tension boiling, and social media already live streaming reactions before the show even aired. Rasheeda walked out first, dressed in all white, a symbol, not of innocence, but of rebirth. Her energy was unfazed, unapologetic, and unfollowed. Followed minutes later, visibly nervous, sweat glistening under the studio lights. He kept wiping his hands on his pants. He wasn't ready. Everyone could feel it. The reunion host took a deep breath and started, "Rasheeda, Kirk. Where do we even begin?" Rasheeda didn't flinch. "We begin by ending it." Double quotes, gasps. Kirk looked over, eyes already glassy. "So that's it?" Rasheeda looked dead at him. "You ended it." "I'm just signing the closure." The host nodded. "There's been a lot revealed this season. Karlie, Jasmine, even some texts from women not even part of the show. Kirk, is there anyone you want to come clean about?" Kirk opened his mouth, then closed it. The silence said it all. Rasheeda let out a quiet chuckle. Still lying. Even now. The audience murmured. A few castmates like Spice and Yandy shook their heads. Then Karlie Red was brought out. She entered with fire in her eyes, heels clicking like thunderclaps. She sat, crossed her legs, and smirked at both of them. The host asked Karlie, "Do you regret exposing Kirk the way you did?" "No," she replied flatly. "I regret not doing it sooner." "But what about crashing Rasheeda's event?" Karlie paused, then turned to Rasheeda. "That was foul. I own that. I let clout get to my head, but the truth, I dropped." That was real. Rasheeda looked at her, emotion rising. "I didn't need you to expose him. I already knew. Just wasn't ready to admit it." Karlie looked stunned, but then nodded, silent. Then Jasmine was brought out, and the room almost erupted. Rasheeda sat stiffly. Kirk looked like he might pass out. Jasmine tried to be calm. "I didn't come here to fight. I came here to say I was wrong too." Even Karlie looked shocked. "I played a role in hurting another woman. I let my own bitterness become revenge. And it's not something I'm proud of." Rasheeda stared at her for a long, long moment. "Don't come to me as the woman," she said finally. "Come to me as a mother. Do better for your kid. That's all." It was quiet for a long beat. Then the host said, "Kirk, any final words before we close this?" Kirk turned to Rasheeda, voice shaking. "I lost everything. Chasing nothing. I don't expect forgiveness. I just want you to know. I never stopped loving you." Rasheeda didn't cry, didn't smile. She just took the mic, "And I never stopped waiting for you to love me, right?" She stood up, turned to the audience, and dropped the quote that would be etched into love and hip-hop history forever. "Don't wait until they're broken to realize you were whole all along." Applause erupted. Even some crew members were wiping tears. Rasheeda walked off stage, not looking back. Karlie, Jasmine, even Kirk, all sat in silence. That night, the episode broke streaming records. Twitter declared it a cultural reset. TikTok edits went viral with the caption, "Rasheeda, the woman who finally chose herself." In the weeks that followed, Rasheeda launched her own reality spin-off, Pressed and Blessed. Karlie went quiet online, then dropped a cryptic video saying sometimes winning looks like walking away. Kirk deactivated all his accounts. Rumors swirled he moved out of Atlanta completely. And Ms. Shirlene, she became a whole meme queen, especially the clip of her yelling, "You don't get to weaponize her loyalty." Rasheeda didn't need to speak much after that. Her silence said enough. Her power finally reclaimed, and fans still not over it, because this wasn't just the end of a toxic chapter, it was the beginning, the legacy. If you made it this far, you already know this wasn't just another messy love and hip-hop moment. This was history. Rasheeda didn't just walk away from Kirk, Karlie, or the lies, she walked into her power. And now fans everywhere are rallying behind her as the woman who finally chose herself over chaos. But don't get it twisted, we're just getting started. What will Kirk do next? Will Karlie Red really stay silent? And is Rasheeda's solo empire about to overshadow the entire LHHATL cast? Tap that like button if you're proud of Rasheeda finally walking away. Drop A or in the comments if you think she should never look back. And don't forget to subscribe, because the next chapter is coming in, trust me. It's going to shake the culture even harder. This ain't just reality TV anymore. It's real life drama turned legend. See y'all in the next one.